most people think that working a 9 to 5 for 40 years is the normal thing. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad about it, and there's nothing that can replace it. There's nothing else to do but work your 40 hours, go home, and do the normal thing, right? So I want to talk a little bit about the hidden mental toll that you'll experience working in a job for an extended period of time without the path towards something better, without the intention and active participation in the creative process of getting to a better life path, life purpose. So working is great, working is fine, right? But there's a time and a place for everyone to transition into something meaningful, into something that's more integrous with who they are as individuals, right? So some people love art, some people love fitness, some people love finance, some people love psychology, right? Whatever it is, it's not so much about what, it's about the fact that there needs to be a transition into it. So the hidden toll of working a 9 to 5 for 40 years is, first off, you completely lose your creativity, right? I can say with the utmost conviction that the best experiences in life come from expressing yourself, by far, right? So if that's helping people, if that's sharing your life, if that's storytelling, if that's sharing like knowledge that you have that's worked for you or worked for someone else, that contribution to others and seeing that benefit others is one of the most joyful things you can experience as a human being. I'm sorry, guys. And doing it your own way, right? Not doing it in a confined, regimented, process-only way, right? Because typically in jobs, right, that's what we're taught. We're taught that you have to do it this way. We're taught that it can't be done another way. And we're taught that there's only one or two ways that you can go about achieving something, right? Whatever it is. So I just think that, as far as the mental toll of losing your creative power over time, that is something that's very depressing, right? Like even me just thinking about going to work every day, not going to work every day as a bad thing itself, but going to work every day with nothing else going on after the fact. Like if you're going to work, right, and you have other things you're working on the side, or you're progressing towards something else, or you can see progress elsewhere that can benefit you in something, then that's great, right? Then if it's moving you towards a better destination, then that's fine, right? But the average person, right, like let's face it, they're working their 40 hours and that's it. There's nothing else on the other side of it. The thing most people fill their time with outside of their 40 hours is medicating themselves. Pot, weed, alcohol, TV, drugs, whatever it is to mask the inner lack of expression, right? To dampen down the form of expression that they know is capable and that they fear, right? Because deep down, like, let's be honest, right? The reason why people don't pursue their dreams or pursue something that can build towards their dream is because they're afraid, right? Like if you're in a job for so long, right, you know that's comfortable. You know the job, you know what to do. You do the same thing every day, right? So your mind, you can sort of be in an autopilot state where you're in limbo, where you're like, okay, I just gotta go, I gotta clock in, punch the clock, do X, Y, and Z, and then that's it, right? I can go home, I can drink my beer, I can watch my TV, I can have sex with my girlfriend, and then I can do it all over again, right? But again, like, is that, and I know for some people, like, they're okay with that, but if you feel like there's a sense of emptiness, if you feel like there's a sense of lack of something better, if there's a lack of progress or growth, then you need to realize that that's in everybody, but everybody presses it down. Every human being has a form of potential that they need to reach, right? And if it occurs in this lifetime or the next, it's not so much about that. It's the fact that there is a hidden potential in every single human being to aspire to God, to aspire to consciousness, to love, to expression, that oftentimes we repress because you're afraid, right? Like when you express yourself, whether you're an author, whether you're a musician, whether you're an athlete, or something that's outside of the norm, something that requires you to tap into your inner genius and your greatness, that act is oftentimes perceived to be, we perceive it fearfully, because we're like, oh shit, if I'm expressing myself, then that can entail someone can judge me, someone can harm me. You know, because like early on, like I'll be honest, when I first started like making YouTube videos, like back in high school, guys, I've been making YouTube videos for like 5-6 years now. And for a short tid, I was like, damn, like shit, if my friends find my YouTube videos and they ended up, you know, sharing them with classmates and stuff, I was like, damn, like what if I get judged, or what if people call me weird? And you know what's funny? I got called weird by some people, right? I got called crazy. I got called so many different things. Not like weird or anything, but like, damn, like, you know, what are you doing making YouTube videos? Like, it's kind of like a question mark. Like, damn, huh? Like, you making YouTube videos, right? So the fear of judgment is there as well. And then the fear of failure. Like the fear of like telling someone about like what you're gonna do. This is why I don't tell anyone what I do, right? Very little people know that I make YouTube videos. But anyways, long story short, the fear of like failure and being judged, right? I think that holds a lot of people back as well. Like the fear that, you know, if you go on the process of, you know, pursuing your dreams, that people will try to shun you and look down on you, or laugh at you when it doesn't work out like you hoped. And so as far as, you know, the fear that we have is associated with our expressive potential, our creativity, I think that's where a lot of people get stuck up, and a lot of people just say, nope, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm good. I just want to be low key, I want to be left alone. I don't want to have any people, you know, bug me or cause problems with me because of what I do, right? But realistically speaking, right, a lot of those fears are imaginary, and they're just stories that we tell ourselves to give us like the pass to not like try, give us the pass to just like not even aim at it, not even like attempt to pursue it at all, right? And so that is really depressing, right? Like just knowing that you're living with fear. Like most people, that's what it is. Like when you go home, like you deep down know like shit, like the 40 hours is not, like it's not fulfilling, like it sucks. And you do that week after week, like, and you're like, shit, like this really sucks. And then that's when the drugs come in. That's when the alcohol comes in. That's when the video games come in, because it's like there has to be something on the other side of your 40 hours a week, right? So, you know, again, I know we're tired. I know we're sometimes we're pissed off. Sometimes we're or we just don't feel like working. We don't feel like, you know, doing the research we need to do, or we don't feel like, you know, attempting something that we don't know how to do. Whatever the case is, it's like the effort is the want is there, but we just don't have the foresight to see how in a few years, like the act of us pursuing our dreams can actually manifest, and not only manifest, but completely change the direction of our lives and our current life situation, right? In the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, I recommend everyone reads it. Wallace Wattles says that life becomes dormant and dull when growth and work and growth stop. Like when the growth process is stunned, or like stunted, or just ends because we are in a job and that's all we're comfortable with, that's when life starts to be dull and what Ken Wilber calls flatland, right? So flatland is when you're in a state of just everything just feels like it's meaningless, like there's nothing really going on. And that's when we have to fill the void that we feel with, again, all of the drugs and medications and endless things that we take to pacify ourselves and make ourselves feel good for the fact that we're not achieving the things that we need to achieve, that would naturally give us dopamine and naturally give us joy, right? So again, it's not so much about work being a bad thing. We all have to start somewhere. We all have to make money somewhere, right? To be able to invest, or to be able to travel somewhere and live abroad if we choose, whatever the case is. But the fact remains is that the mental toll, and then the regret. The regret is like the culmination of everything I've talked about here into one state of mind that reoccurs often when we're like, damn, I was afraid of what other people thought, right? I was unwilling to take risk, or like I was unwilling to use my creative potential. I was unwilling to do the work when I got off at 5, right? And could have worked from like 6 to 8 or 6 to 9. And instead I watched TV, I watched sports, right? I avoided the inner knowing of something better, of something higher, of something deeper and more intertwined with what life is really all about, right? So I just think that all inclusive regret is something that is very scary. Like living with regret, I think, is the ultimate form of depression, because it's a state of mind that reoccurs often, and it's a state of mind that doesn't. It's like you look back and you're like, damn, like I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and you feel like life is just like over, right? And that feeling that life is over, that is the ultimate fear I think that I have. Like feeling like this is it, like this is what I've amounted to all these years. That is the ultimate form of not only betrayal to myself, but betrayal to other people, right? Like, damn, like I wasted all that time. I could have helped so many people. I could have lost the weight. I could have learned the skill, right? I could have, did whatever I knew that I wanted to do, but I was just too caught up in my own beliefs, too caught up in my own storytelling, too caught up in my own fears, and too caught up in my own laziness and unwilling to push out of my comfort zone, that now 40 years, 50 years go by, and now I have to live from age 60 to 80 or 90 for 20 years, retired, so-called retired, right? And now I have regret, right? And so I'll tell you one thing as well before I end this video that will keep you trapped in a 9-to-5 if you're not careful. A lot of companies offer benefits, right? And a lot of what are benefits, right? Benefits are seen as something that can help us, right? Health insurance, dental, eye care, Social Security, right? Everything in a 9-to-5, 401k, pensions. A lot of companies don't do pensions anymore, but you have to ask yourself, what's the big picture meta? What's the big picture thing that they're trying to get you invested in when they offer you benefits? They're trying to get you invested in the company long term, right? Because when a company has low turnover, right, it makes their lives easier. So if they give you something like a benefit, right, like a 401k, dental, Social Security, everything that we acquire as we that we acquire in our working lives, that plays off your base survival nature, right? Because we're trained, you need dental, you need healthcare, you need a 401k, right? Because you're gonna die, you're gonna need money when you retire at 60, right? All of that is playing off your base fear of death, your base fear of being afraid to step out on your own, to step out and do things that may scare you, but may be the things that lead up to your fulfilling of your potential, right? And Social Security is such a fucking joke, man. Like I'm not sitting here and saying that it's a joke as a thing, like how like some people may need it, but the fact that we think in 40 years Social Security is gonna save us, is gonna give us a life where we have a life of ease, and we're just getting handouts from the government, and at no point in 40 years the government might not say, hey man, we're taking this shit away. The naiveness that we have in our belief in the government and in the so-called security that it's giving us is incredible to me, how so many people fall for that. So again, it's not so much that healthcare is bad and dental is bad and these things are bad as like they're not bad in nature. It's just that they keep us comfortable, right? 401k keeps you comfortable because you're getting your free money every week from your employer, right? But realistically speaking, like, look at it this way. If you have to work 40 years for $1 million, is it really worth it? I'm asking you, is it really worth it? Would you rather do this? I'm going to give you two ways of living life. Would you rather work 40 years? Let's say fuck it, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say you make let's say you have 5 million at 60. Would you rather have 5 million at 60 or live abroad freely for $20,000 a year and only make $30,000 a year from, like, let's say content creation or day trading? I'd rather live 40 years making $30,000 or $40,000 a year doing content or doing some form of online work or some freelancing or whatever the case may be. I'd rather make that $40,000 a year for 40 years, have no 401k, have no health insurance, and be free. Because again, what is life made of, right? Life is made of time. And time is the only thing that we have to enjoy life, to express ourselves, to dive deep into things that are fun and enjoyable and interesting, right? So when our interest is diminished, when our curiosity is killed, when our creativity is killed, that is when life feels like it's not fun, like the magic is gone. Remember when you were a kid, you felt the magic of life? Like, I can remember, like, when I was a kid, from like ages like 5 to 10, right? I feel like when I got to be in like middle school, that's when kind of like the conditioning started to really take its toll. But before you had all these like fears and, you know, preconceived notions of how the world works, like, life felt fun, life felt magical, life felt like it was the best day to wake up and be alive. And even though you had to go to school and everything, it still felt fun, right? So I think everyone's goal in life is to find that inner child, but that inner sense of magic and awe for life that is inherent. We just don't know it because we've been brainwashed to believe that life is has a very linear direction, right? We're conditioned to be in survival mode, right? Stash away money, save money, be in your throw away money in your 401k, save for your retirement. Everything is pre-made in the world to keep you in a state of fear and keep you in survival mode, so that you live according to a certain way, because corporations want to make money. If corporations don't have bots and cogs, we know that they're effectively useless. They can't sustain themselves. The CEO can't run its own fucking business, can't be making $1 million a year by himself, right? So he needs employees. But again, it's like, you don't want to be an employee for that long. That's the main point I'm trying to get here. It's nothing wrong with working for someone else. There's nothing wrong with working a job. There's nothing wrong with it. It's what keeps you trapped in the job. It's what plays off of your base nature fears and kills your creativity, kills your awe for life, and kills your natural inspiration to pursue something more creative and more fulfilling, right? That's really ultimately what it's all about. And then, you know, no one wants to live with regret. That's the worst thing, is living with regret, right? Obviously there's certain things we wish we did or we didn't do, but at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing we can all agree on is that we want to live a life of purpose, at least we're trying, right? May not achieve it in this lifetime, may not even get close to it, but at least you tried, right? So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.